What you got the large for the house?
11. We're 11 this year.
Maybe that's better.
We'll have probably 5 or 6 for basketball.
Oh, yeah, what was he at?
We don't have any.
Oh, I see. Like, I need to get my line.
Well, I don't know about basketball.
Because it's like still stuff that like it's just doing it.
They could have driven right around and right through that stuff, but not tonight. They have
We might need it tonight.
No,
So,
7 o'clock, we're adjourned. Maybe 6:30.
I'll be thinking of you.
You ready, Shelley?
Shoved everything on.
An alarm. Set an
Ding, we're
alarm.
leaving.
I'll be thinking of you.
Oh, no, you gotta stay the whole
Just
night.
tell,
you know.
I'll keep this pushing through.
I just have that short little first one and
You need to do roll call on any of this stuff, Shelley?
yeah, they're putting down, but they did rope it off.
Not until we vote for the president. Well, right or right, and they do
Okay.
Yep.
So none of the old stuff you need to
that
have.
is his hipster.
Okay, sounds good. Are you ready then?
Yes.
Okay. At this time, I'd like to call our meeting to order. Any changes or additions to the agenda?
I have one when we get to the organizational meeting with the new board, and that would be, like, we can add it in, let's see, get it down here. 22, or 21A, and that would be a professional development opportunity with Trevor Reagan on August 23rd of 2018.
That's funny.
They'll go with it. You just quit.
Okay. So I need a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
I'll make a motion.
Second. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, the same. So motion carries. Approve the minutes from the August 2017 meeting. Any questions on those? Hearing none, I need a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
I'll second
All in favor, say aye.
it. Aye.
Opposed, the same. So motion carries. Item 4, approve the monthly financial reports for September 2017.
Just go through the financial reports real quick while you guys are looking at the bills. General fund, we have cash balance of 1.26 million. Pepples, $101,607. 1 cent sales tax, $347,623. Debt service, $5,244. Management, $54,428. Nutrition, $138,779. Activity, $101,638. And the trust and agency, total cash in the bank is $176,917. And general fund cash flow is pretty slow this time of year. So we start, since the 1st of September, we've received our first state aid for the year. So that'll look different next month. We've only got about 80,000 in through the end of August.
Any questions on the financial reports?
I have a couple, like, some checks that were written. River City fence for $3,900.
Yep, we put some new gates in down at the athletic complex, so it was easier to get big trucks down in. With the storm damage, with the trees down there, we needed to get trucks in so we could get all that out. And then at some point, we're gonna have to be able to get a crane in there to work on lights. So we just added some new fence in there.
Let's see. The security equipment cameras for $1,300.
That was a service call. We'd had some issues with the server.
And an iTunes charge for $20 on the new set. And my other question, on the rotten milk, it was dated August 31st and it was served on September 6th, so it was 6 days past being expired. Do we get rotten milk, do we get reimbursed if we send that back?
With the company that we work with, we do. If we went with the other company, they don't reimburse for any of that, so
Was that milk sent back?
I would assume so,
They just automatically pick it up.
yeah.
Yeah, I never see the milkman, ever. He's
You
here
just
like
set
at
it
4 in
out
the
if
morning.
it's rotten and.
It's just in the milk cooler, I'll label it, I'll date it or whatever. No, I never actually physically see him.
Okay.
Maybe she came down and told me, and I just don't remember what it was. I have the receipt.
Well, on the receipt, it said like chicken salad and, so I don't know
Oh.
if maybe they were somewhere.
It was books, I think.
The iTunes was, it was something to do with PD, but I
Yeah.
can't remember exactly what it
It was books for PD.
Okay.
That they downloaded
Yeah.
onto their,
On the iPads.
yes,
Okay.
chicken salad.
Well, it said chicken and chips and,
That was for something else.
okay.
That was
That was
for-
also on the visa.
Right,
Yeah.
that was for, the beginning of the year, Laura
Like a
went and bought
leadership.
that at, Casey's.
Oh, for the, yeah, the flag raising thing, right? Or was it-
No,
No.
it was before school started. What meeting did we have? Oh, it was for registration.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yep.
That's all I had.
Okay. So we need a motion to approve the financial reports for September.
I'll make a motion to approve the reports.
Second,
I'll second it.
all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. So motion carries. Item 5, approve the transfer of the building to the City of Green.
At the city council meeting, they discussed transfer of the building. Now that we finally have gotten clearance to get rid of it, basically what the town council has said is that they would go back to the original offer on the building, contingent upon replacement of broken windows and barring any major damage to the building since the original offer. Mark's in the process of getting the windows taken care of with Mason City Glass and the insurance company. The windows were broken out with some vandalism over the summer. So obviously some young people were drinking and decided it would be okay to break in and cause some damage, so.
So how much is that gonna cost us to fix the windows?
It's $500 deductible. So, or, no, it's $250 on that, so.
Does that come out of the general fund?
No, that'll be, Apple.
Oh, yeah.
So we're giving them the building
Yeah,
for free?
for $1. We can't
And they
do it for
want
free.
us to fix it up
Yep.
before they take it from us?
Yeah. Yep.
What about all the stuff that's in there still?
We'll get it out of there. Most of it's been sitting there for, what, two and a half years now, so we'll go through it, and if it's decent, we'll keep it. If it's not, we'll probably pitch it in a metal dumpster for the Booster Club. Get Mark and whoever else we get up here on a Saturday probably to go through it.
Like some kind of sale again, like what we had before with some
We
of the
could,
other
yeah.
stuff?
If-
'Cause there's
if
a
it's
lot, I
decent.
mean, if it's
I haven't been in there for a while, so I don't
the
even know what's
same
left
as
there.
when I was in there, there's a lot of stuff, and there were like, there's a shelf, like 2 shelves this big, full of paper.
Yeah.
Like
That-
printer
No, that's been
paper. Is
taken-
that gone?
that's
Is that all
gone.
now?
Cause I
Uh,
actually
okay.
went in there this summer to look at the paper, cause
Yeah,
somebody
there
had
were
told me
2.
there's maybe a box of paper total in there, and it's
Yeah.
all faded and icky
Yeah.
and.
And Mrs. Tracy
It
had
was
the
in the
elementary
nurse's
teachers go
office.
through there and take anything that they wanted out already here this fall to, during one of the professional development days, so. So we'll go through.
They have to
receipts
use it in
there.
2 years, I'd say.
Yeah. I haven't been in there for probably 6 months.
It's kinda like your house. You don't use it, you're not gonna use it.
Yeah.
So you need a motion to approve the transfer of the building to the City of Green.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. So the motion carries. Item 6, receive communications and visitors.
Oops, sorry. Cool.
Say, what do you got there, Shelley?
Never mind.
What?
You did this, didn't you?
Yeah, I left it there from the last time, so.
Okay, so item 7, examine the financial account book for fiscal year 17.
Did you load that on here?
Yes, it's it's FY 17 treasurer's report.
Man, you could have made it a little bigger.
I downloaded it from the website.
Yeah. Basically, it's just cash report of where we finished fiscal 17 on our various funds. Now, remember with the general fund, the ending cash balance is not our unspent balance either. There's a difference.
That actually isn't a cash balance anyway.
Oh, okay.
It's fund balance. Because it has all the payables and stuff in it.
Oh, yeah,
so.
yeah.
Any questions on the financial account book?
I guess while we're here, I'll just, our preliminary unspent balance at the end of fiscal 17 has grown to about $958,000. That's preliminary, of course. We gotta finished everything up, but Shelley's got the CAR done, and that's where it looks like we're gonna fall. Which is about $1.2 million difference from where we were at 3 years ago.
I'm leaving on a good note. Now I'm out.
Any other questions on the account books? Okay, we'll move on to item 8 then, review and accept the results of the school board election.
What's that listed as?
I don't know. I wish
That's
this,
Abstract
the
votes.
second one
Yes.
from the top there.
wish it listed by our names right here.
Yeah, you should have that coordinated with the agenda. Makes it a lot easier.
It sorts them out by itself, so. Abstract votes, Lori Schultz received, for District 1, which is the traditional green district, Lori Schultz received 298 votes. District 2, Amanda Hewitt received 180 write-in votes, and John Hoyer received 105 write-in votes. Therefore, Lori Schultz wins District 1 for a term of 4 years, and Amanda Hewitt wins District 2 for a term of 4 years.
Congratulations.
Oh, I have fun little certificates of election for each of you.
Something new.
This is, I've never seen this before. Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Accept the results.
Okay, we have a motion to accept the election results.
So,
Second,
Second.
all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries.
She's the president pro tem.
Who points are us, Eric? Okay.
So,
Do we need a motion on
Yes.
okay.
No.
I'll make a motion to elect Shelley as the president
Oh,
pro
yeah.
term.
Yeah, we appoint her.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
that? Yeah.
so, okay.
We
Just
said we needed a motion,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
I'll
But we don't have to
second.
elect her, we appoint her. Okay, Bobby
Or
seconded.
whatever,
Yep.
appoint her.
All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, the same. Motion carries. I need a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Want to second that?
I'll second it.
Sounds good. Thanks, ladies.
Thank you.
Nice working with you.
Appreciate your service.
You too. Good luck.
Don't forget to drop off the iPad.
Okay?
I'll hunt you down.
Thanks for the
anyway.
lifetime pass.
Yeah, thank you.
Keep Fred in line.
Ladies can-
Huh? I will.
Keep Fred in line. I'll let you know when we got more buses for.
More school buses.
Yes, I'll let you know when we got another bus
Yeah,
for sale.
okay.
Did you get an agenda? Okay.
Did you know the oath up here, or do you have it?
I have it.
I'm just saying.
Okay, we're gonna call the new board to order. And administrate the oath of office of the two of you. Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Iowa, and that you will faithfully and impartially, to the best of your ability, discharge the duties of office as school board director in the North Butler Community School District as now and hereafter required by law?
Well,
Thank you.
Welcome aboard.
Now I will take nominations for school board president.
I nominate Liz. Bobby.
Any others? Need to assist nominations? Now we need to take a vote, so everybody has to vote for one person. Eric,
Liz.
Bobby,
Liz.
Lori,
Liz.
Liz,
Liz.
Amanda. Thank you. Liz, you get to take over the meeting
Like book of what to do or. What to do? Okay, so now we need to make nominations for the school board vice president.
I nominate Bobby.
Okay, any other nominations? Okay, so we'll have a vote.
now. Cease.
Cease the nominations, please. Yes. And
Vote.
vote.
Eric,
Bobby it is.
Bobby,
Bobby.
Lori,
Bobby.
Liz,
Bobby.
Amanda. Thank you.
Okay, so next we need to appoint the board secretary treasurer. Anybody appointing possibly Shelley?
I'll Shelley.
I'll second that appointment.
Okay.
Sorry, Archery.
And we'll cease the appointment?
No, that's all I have to do, but you have to read me the oath.
Okay. Okay. Shelley, do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Iowa, and that you will faithfully and impartially, to the best of your ability, discharge the duties of the oath of school board secretary, treasurer in the North Butler Community School District as now and hereafter required by law?
Yes.
Okay, great. Shelley, it is. Okay, time and date for our next school board meeting. Normally, we've been having them at 6 o'clock on Monday.
Second
Monday.
Second Monday of the month. Does that work for everybody? Any proposed changes or is that?
Works for me.
Okay, so do I need a motion for that? Okay, we'll just leave it as it is. Next, we need to appoint the school attorney and
I recommend that we use continue to use Brian Gurlin for our school attorney, but also that we add Ehlers and Cooney for construction, because we usually end up going to them anyway. So, any construction items that we have, they're the best in the state.
And where are they?
They're, Brian Gruen is out of Cedar Rapids, and Ehlers and Cooney is out of Des Moines.
And they do different things. Brian's like more legal.
Yeah, and Ehlers we'll just use for any construction issues that we may have. But we've been using them quite steadily here for the last month and a half, so.
do I need a motion? Can someone make a motion to
I will make a motion to appoint, or to have Brian Gruen and Ehlers and Cooney as our attorneys.
Okay, we need a second for that?
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, go, good, carries, whatever. Appoint the official depository, so right now what, we have LSB and,
LSB.
yeah,
Yep,
LSB and
so-
LSB and LSB.
So I would recommend that we continue to use LSB with the $15 million limit.
Okay, Bob, you made the motion, can we have a second? Second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now we need to appoint the official publication, which has been.
The Butler Green Recorder and the Butler County Tribune.
So I'd like a motion for that.
I'll make a motion.
Second, anybody?
I'll second it.
Any, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same, motion carries. Okay, ISB delegate, in the past I've done that, I can continue that, is that appropriate still?
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
All right, do we have to, we don't have to make motions
Nope.
for these things?
And what do you do as a delegate?
I went at the annual school board meeting, I go down and like the legislative, they go through all the legislative priorities for all the school districts.
Okay.
So I vote and do different things.
Okay.
And we can send our own priorities or
Can anybody go, anybody else?
everybody can go.
All right.
But we only get one vote to enter.
Yes.
Yeah,
correct.
one delegate.
Yeah, one
So
delegate.
if somebody else wants to do it, they
No,
can as
that's-
well.
I just was curious, I didn't know where it all
Yes.
entailed.
It's a good experience because they have meetings, all kinds of meetings,
Mm-hmm.
all
It's
day
good,
long.
good learning and
It is, it's really good
Yeah.
learning.
Yeah, you learn a lot of the different issues that
Okay.
are going on.
And there's some other things
Good.
going on that ISB will do throughout the year. In October and November, they have new board member orientations. So I'll set that up, I'll find a close
Yeah.
one and I'll set it up so the three of us can go.
Good, okay.
Okay, so next Butler County Conference Board, who? did
And
you-
that was me, but my question was the Floyd County one, is that in Charles City?
Yes,
Okay, so I will, if Butler, somebody wants Butler since it's closer for you guys, I'll do Floyd since I work over there, that'd be,
and we don't have anybody who lives in Floyd County now, so.
so do you have to do Floyd?
Yes, because our district goes up there.
Okay,
So
but it's in
again,
Charles City?
It's one meeting, is it one meeting a month?
No, it's one a year.
One a year, unless
Wow.
they have
And you
something
just go
going.
as like a representative for the school?
Yep.
Okay,
Do you want to? Do
I can.
you want to?
I'll take
Okay.
Floyd.
Okay,
Okay.
do you wanna do Butler still?
Or Amanda could have Butler. I don't know what they usually meet during the day though, I don't know what
Yeah.
your schedule is, if that would work or not.
Wanna do Butler? Okay, so Amanda will do Butler, Lori will do Floyd. And negotiations committee, Eric's done that in the past, you
I'll
wanna
stay on that,
stay
yeah.
there? And we also had Laura, I don't know, I
Well, and we shouldn't
do you do
have-
it in the
we
morning usually?
Well, it depends
Okay.
what works out for the association, but we shouldn't have to negotiate.
That's right, because
Yeah.
we already
So
had that for
we
this
need,
year.
we need to have it just in case something comes up where we have to open, but we shouldn't have to negotiate.
Okay. Okay, I'll do that then. Building improvements. And that's, I was that before.
And that's just another committee.
Kind of,
Yeah,
it
we-
was Christy and I, we kind of started out, we had a lot more, we had a whole list of things that we kind of went through and.
Most of them are done.
Yeah, I came and
So-
toured around the first, so,
Basically, if somebody has a complaint about the building or whatever, you would direct them to you, you get Mr. Foster, and you would try to figure it out.
okay.
Because, yeah, we've got, that list you guys had is pretty complete, and, yeah, most of that's
Yeah,
getting
most of the
squared
stuff,
away.
it's on the website somewhere, we can pull it up
Yeah.
and look at it.
Okay.
Okay, so, in finance, Bobby, do you wanna do that
Yeah,
again?
I'll stay on that.
Amanda or Eric, one of you guys wanna do
I'm
it?
fine with that.
Eric, okay. Okay. Cool, okay. Board items of discussion, new board member workshop.
And I already talked about that one,
Okay.
so.
You're gonna sign both of them up
Yep.
when something is near, okay, in the next month or two?
Yeah,
Fast growth letter.
I'm trying to find it, I don't remember what I called it.
Okay, here I go again. What's
North
a
Butler
fast
Growth fast.
Okay, yep.
I haven't heard heard that one before either.
What's
Okay.
that? The
It's-
FAFSA?
Fast growth thing.
Oh, it's our fast testing.
It's our
for
testing,
reading.
yep.
That's what it is.
Okay.
And this
Okay.
letter came from Sam Miller at the AEA, and basically, the purpose of this letter, we did,
That was at the
yes.
SIAC meeting, it was presented.
The purpose of this letter is to congratulate the board, administration, and staff members of your district on your recent gains in student achievement and literacy. As you probably know, your district has been using a suite of assessment progress monitoring tools designed to help educators screen, monitor progress, and analyze reading skills of students from pre-kindergarten to 6th grade. The data from these tests indicate that through the hard work of the educators in your district, achievement levels are on the rise in kindergarten through 3rd grade. The state percentage of growth was 2.9%, and North Butler showed 4.6% of growth. Because we all know that literacy is a gatekeeping skill in life, the efforts your district is making to ensure that students read at the highest level are to be commended. We at Central Rivers Area Education Agency are proud to partner with you on your continued path to success. Please share with your board of directors and consider reading this letter publicly at an upcoming board meeting so that this good news can be shared. Sincerely, Sam Miller, Chief Administrator, Central Rivers AEA.
Teachers do a job.
Our teachers have really put in a lot of work on that, and they continue to. Our
And the
te-
SIPS program, I think, is a good thing.
The
breaking
SIP program, I
kids
think,
into
has
their-
really made a big difference, I think, between that and the extra professional development that our teachers have put in, has really made a difference.
And SIP stands for?
I have no idea.
They're basically breaking kids up, not by grade level, but by reading level, so they're kind of paired with all different age group kids.
Okay.
And then they're in really small groups, like, is there anybody, like maybe 5 kids in a group, or, you know, it's really
Okay.
small groups and they really focus, and then they can all excel.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Public items of discussion, okay. Approve modified allowable growth and supplemental aid for special ed deficit.
We had a special ed deficit this year. Our special ed deficit was, did you look at that, Sean? I don't think I did either. Let me go here. I know I have that on the
Is
same
it
sheet.
100 something?
It was $157,153, and that was after we had billed everything for Medicaid that we could, and will continue. I think we're out of some of the area schools, I think we're probably quite a bit lower than a lot of them. That does come back to property tax, but it also helps our bottom line. I know, I think it was last year, West Fork had almost $500,000 in their special ed deficit. Forest City, I think, was like $750,000 or almost $1 million. Cedar
I think we
Falls.
lost some, didn't we, because we had overages for a while, so we
Yes.
lost some, so this will kind of get us back to maybe where we need to be.
Yep, well, and we're gonna continue to bill for all the Medicaid that we can to try to even it out. It's just a matter of,
Is it working?
we didn't
Once
get,
you find
we'll find out, and if it
Okay.
doesn't, we'll go back to the other process,
out?
so.
Okay.
And are we still using the vehicle? I know Nashville is borrowing it from us, and we talked about maybe selling it to them if we weren't gonna use it.
We're using it every day right now, yeah, that was the one we started using again this semester last year. So we have 2 trips to go to River Hills twice a day now.
Because did we have 2 for special ed vehicles? We're using all of them.
Just
We're
the
using all of them
one
right now.
wheelchair one,
Right.
we weren't, but now we are because
Yes.
we need it.
Yep.
Okay.
Is there more information that I could get a hold of somewhere, just so I understand all of that a little bit better, rather than taking the time here tonight? Because I don't necessarily
Yep.
understand how that works in terms of enrollment numbers and River Hill. I know some of the kids go to River
Yep.
Hills, and I just would like more information.
Yep,
on
just
that.
stop in sometime and we'll go through it all.
Okay, so I need a motion to approve the modified allowable growth and supplemental aid for special ed.
I'll make a motion.
Second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Next, approved tool purchase for vocational programs, Snap-on partnership.
We've been working with Snap-on Tools for the last 5 or 6 months to start getting the program set up for our vocational program. We sent out a letter over the summer to some of our local businesses about partnering with us. We've had several partner with us and make donations. American Tool and Equipment also donated a milling machine that when he purchased it was about a $30,000 purchase. Right now it's worth about $5,000. But in order to offer the certifications through the program, we have to have their toolkits. And the toolkits for the 3 programs that we're gonna start with come out to about $49,492.27. As this is curriculum, it would be a general fund expenditure, so. But there's a lot of things that we can do with these tools. It is the area where everyone in the community that I've talked to has emphasized that we need to push since I've been here, so.
Do we have teachers certified yet?
Yes, Mr. Brown is certified to teach 2 of the 3 areas, and as soon as we get the tools for the 3rd area, then they can get certified in it, but they can't get certified to teach the meters until we have the tools for it, because they have to take that class online.
Do you have an idea or estimate about how many kids are interested in enrolling in that kind of program? Just a rough estimate?
Not right offhand. But generally, about a third of our graduating class goes to NIAC. We do have some high school students right now taking automotive and diesel classes at NIAC. This would transfer into jobs right out of high school for some of these kids. At places like American Tool. It's an investment in
Working at American Tool, would they enroll in this program? Because I mean, I know we have a couple high school students that are working.
Yes, actually, one of those students has been really excited about this and asking quite often when we're gonna start. I have sent an email to the teachers, and they have some interest in possibly doing some night classes or weekend classes for community members, so that we can do some retraining. I think it's an investment in the future of our communities. I think the only way we're gonna keep people around here is to start offering things like this that would keep them here in our local businesses.
So the certification could be this year for students? Or?
Yes, we're actually, part of the program would be, we would offer all the certifications that we can during our May term at the end of the year. So, and then we'll also have, Mr. Miller's going to go get certified right after Christmas in 3D printing. That'll go right along with the Project Lead the Way computer science program that we already have.
So these classes are offered through NIAC, but
These will be offered right through us.
are they also offered through NIAC?
NIAC is offering some of them within their program. We would be the first high school in the state to offer these programs. Mr. Brown wants to start doing some of it in his middle school exploratories so that we get a head start.
But hopefully some of these classes would be like a foundation. When the kids went to NIAC, they wouldn't have to retake these classes up there. They would already have that. So maybe instead of going to NIAC for 2 years, they can get through there in a year.
Okay, because that's what, I've heard some community members say, well, if NIAC is offering it, why would the school purchase this program, for our students? Why would we pay the money when we can do it through NIAC? So I'm just.
Our region, we have what we call a regional planning partnership, and this is the same type of program that they're offering, but with that, you're at the mercy of 18 other school districts as far as timing and that. And this way we can do it on our own and offer it at our own pace so the kids can work through like the precision measuring they would do as parts of 4 or 5 different classes instead of most of the time in like a 1-week sitting.
So they'd have to travel to NIAC for these types of programs?
For some of it would, some of it they would
could
bring
do
here.
Oh, they bring here,
Yeah.
okay.
And what about the tools? Can we work with NIAC to purchase them at cheaper, or do we have to get them through
We get the
Snap-on?
same rate, they have to come through Snap-on, but we get the same discount that NIAC gets.
But hopefully we can draw some students from some other schools in
Mhm.
to do some of these programs also.
Is the certification through, is it a Snap-on certification?
No, it's through
Or what?
it's through the National Coalition of Certification Centers.
Okay.
And what they get is they get a sheet that says that they've earned these certifications, but it'll also tell that these are the different things that I've shown proficiency in. So they can take that list of proficiencies out to, say, Phelps Implement or American Tool or the GMT or TDS in Waverly and say, these are the things I can do. And instead of going in at just a labor rate, that would probably move them up to a better paying job.
So they have a technical certification.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
and I think that's great. One of the reasons I was asking is just again, Snap-on tools, they're very high quality, they're expensive.
Yep.
And so that's why I wanted the tie between the certification program and the need to buy Snap-on
Yep.
tools.
Snap-on has been one of the biggest pushers behind the program, and it's Snap-on, Starrett Tools, Train HVAC, I think Daimler Chrysler is one of them, because they have certifications that you can earn in all sorts of different areas. And like the precision measuring one can be used in automotive, it can be used in diesel, it can be used in the HVAC. So that they're, you know, it's like an industry-wide area, and that's kind of why we've chosen them. And then there's this last one Mr. Brown went to here last week was electronic and mechanical torque instruments. So that would be diesel mechanics, automotive, or anything.
Ag mechanics.
So they take these classes at the school, but then would they be like certified through NIAC?
No,
Or
they would be,
just would get a
they would be certified through the National Coalition of Certification Centers.
So that would help them get a job?
Yes.
They wouldn't have to have a college degree?
Correct.
For those jobs?
And that, you know, that's recognized nationally versus just.
Right.
So even at colleges,
Yep.
some programs aren't like.
And NIAC is
school
tying
programs,
some of this type of stuff to their programs. And if the kids take these tests in high school and get certified, then that's some more stuff that they don't have to do during their programs.
Right, the tests are like national tests, not like tests.
I think
given by
that the
teacher.
program
Okay.
itself is great, so I'm not questioning that at all. I'm just more trying to get my head around, does it need to be Snap-on tools?
It has to be there in the certifications. You have
And
to,
these tools you said are lifetime guaranteed?
they're lifetime guarantees, so if the only way we'd have to pay for something is if we lost it or it got stolen. And if it got stolen, then our insurance company would pay for it.
Okay, that's what I.
Do we have companies that are behind it for us, our community companies?
Yes, we actually already got a $2,000 donation from American Tool, plus they're donating a CNC milling machine. And then I have several other companies that have already said that they'll donate money, they just haven't said how much yet. So, and I haven't had time to meet with everybody yet.
Any other questions? I would like a motion to approve the tool purchase for the vocational program.
I'll make a motion.
Second? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed the same. Motion carries. Approve water heater purchase from McGage.
We're having water heater issues in this building. We've been running on one water heater for, I think Mark said about 1.5 years now. These water heaters are expensive. They come in multiple pieces. They have to put them together. McGage has been cheaper than everybody else, and they've been more reliable for us than the other company that we were using before. So I recommend that we purchase a water heater from McGage at $12,157, and that's the installed price, and that would be a Butler 1-cent sales tax
So
purchase.
we have two.
Yes. So that way, if something happens to the one, we'd have backup.
And do they have a warranty on this?
I think it's like a 1-year parts and labor.
So you did get quotes from others, obviously, you said.
McGage is the only one around that right now I trust to deal with. We've been using Young's Plumbing and Heating out of Waterloo too, and they overcharged us about $50,000, and we still have not completely settled all that, so.
Okay, and this is something that's more industrial, so like
Yes.
someone that's more local, doesn't have the capabilities
Nope.
to do this kind of work.
Any other questions? Make a motion, I need a motion to approve the water heater from McGage.
It's gonna take a while.
I know.
We're trying to struggle here.
I make a motion to approve the water heater purchase.
Second, please. Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed the same, motion carries. Approve concurrent enrollment programs and courses with NIAC.
This is just a continuation. We have to approve the concurrent enrollment programs that we have with NIAC every year, so that our kids can get both high school and college credits for it. So I forgot to attach those.
Any questions?
It must all be going well.
Yeah,
Yes,
so,
yep.
yeah, definitely, there's a
Yep,
lot.
and
I
we've
mean,
actually-
last year, Martina came and gave us a presentation, which maybe she can do again
Yeah.
sometime,
Yep.
on what classes are being offered, and she gave us the statistics, how many students are taking, I can't remember,
Okay.
but there was a large growth.
And we've actually had some conversation with NIAC too about adding vocational math and and vocational language arts, so that some of our kids might not have to take like an advanced math class and an advanced language arts class. They could take those that would then transfer over to the NIAC program, so that would cut up some of the time off their programs there if they went to vocational too.
Yeah, I think those programs are excellent.
I need a motion to approve the concurrent enrollment with NIAC.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Awesome.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Approve new fire panel at elementary.
Our fire alarm panel at the elementary is basically obsolete. We've had a lot of false alarms. We had one last week during the school day. We had several over the summer where I was over in the middle of the night shutting it off. And then I found out yesterday that the shop area isn't even hooked up because of something with the grounds being, the ground for the system not working right out there. I have gotten quotes from both Simplex Grinnell and from Midwest Alarm. Simplex Grinnell, their quote, and part of the problem is that the board is so old that the newer smoke detectors and heat detectors that they've installed do not interact with this board properly. So not only would we have to replace the board, we also are going to have to replace all the smoke and heat detectors.
They wouldn't interchange with the new board?
No, they're actually older than the new board also. And we're having trouble getting them too. Their Simplex Grinnell's quote on it was $42,895. And as that is the case, I would recommend that we go with the Midwest Alarm quote, which is $22,931.18.
Why the big difference?
Simplex Grinnell is horrible. They charge us about $3,000 every time they come out. And we actually got a quote for their services to check our smoke detectors, or not our smoke detectors, but our fire extinguishers and stuff. And it's quite considerably less too, so we'll switch to them for everything that we can.
Reputable company is Midwest.
Yeah, Clarksville uses them.
And that was labor, install,
That's
everything?
everything.
I
I
don't wanna get
called
into
and
a
made sure,
Roof
so.
situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Clarksville uses them, and that's actually, I got the information from Bob over at Clarksville, because we've been frustrated with Simplex. They're not very well, they don't work with us very well. Yes, they like to show up during the school day and do the tests and set the alarms off, and they actually got kind of crabby with Jody down at the elementary about one day last year, so it's.
I'm just curious, do the insurance companies, are they concerned about not having a fire alarm system?
They would be if they knew about it.
Okay,
Well, the fire marshal would.
The fire marshal, if the
Decided
fire
to.
marshal were to come in right now, we'd be in a lot of trouble.
Okay, well, yeah, okay.
Any other questions about the fire panel? I need a motion to approve the new fire panel
Which one?
at the elementary.
Which company?
With
Midwest.
Jeez.
I'll make a motion to approve the Midwest bid.
You're supposed to say that part. I need a second.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
I'll second it.
I earned it. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Approve wrestling sharing.
I was approached by Clarksville about a week and a half ago. They have not been able to secure wrestling coaches for the upcoming season, and asked if we would allow them to participate with our program. We had a long meeting about it last week. We would call it North Butler Clarksville Wrestling. We have 2 home meets. They asked what possibilities of that were, if we would have one there. I said no, because we only have 2, but we did offer that they could put into the state to host a sectional or district meet at Clarksville, because our gym's not big enough. The state won't give it to us here. We would be more than happy for them to host it at Clarksville, because they have the space, and we wouldn't have to go all the way to Lake Mills this year.
Would we get an additional home meet? Because Clarksville probably, did Clarksville ever have?
I don't know. That would be between the
So they
athletic
could
directors
have
and the
the-
principals to
we
figure
have
it out.
One there and
So,
2 here.
Yeah,
In addition.
So, I know our schedule is currently full, but that would be something that the athletic directors and the principals would have to work out.
Does that go into what we're talking about with other sports as far as going up a district?
We would remain in the same class. The numbers for this year are low enough that we'd remain in the same class. And wrestling, you just never know, because sometimes 2A is actually an easier class than 1A, just depends on who's there.
Okay.
How many students would that entail,
Um,
Clarksville, you think?
About, they thought 7 to 10 with high school, and probably about the same for junior high.
Okay.
That's what they said.
Okay.
Okay, so I need a motion to approve sharing Rustin with
I'll
Clarksville.
make a motion.
Second? Second that. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed the same, so the motion carries.
Did Clarksville approve that already, Shelley, or?
Yep.
Okay.
Great, that's good news. Approve SiAC recommendations.
Had several things from the SiAC committee, we had school improvement goals. Our goals, the long-range goal was to raise the baseline data for, I think that's reading from 63.9% proficient to 65% proficient at the high school. Our goal was to have less than 12% not proficient in reading, less than 11.1% not proficient in math, and less than 12.04% not proficient in science. And then to raise the college and career ready in reading above 19.5% and in math above 61%. Those were our current numbers we're at, so. just wanna
Okay,
improve
once
those areas.
again, I've gotta ask, what the SiAC,
It's a school improvement advisory committee. It's something that we're required to have by the state. And these are the areas that they are required to make recommendations on to the board.
And it's made
And
up
we have a
of
couple
community
others.
members,
okay, that's what I.
teachers,
Community members, teachers,
board members,
students.
administrators,
Okay.
students, yeah.
Okay,
The North Butler Tag Program, they also recommend the new tag program with the different ways to get in and things like that.
Yes,
I can't think of
guidelines.
the guidelines, thank you.
There's actual
Yeah.
guidelines now.
Yep.
so who on the board has been involved?
I
with that?
went to last one.
Okay,
Liz
Before,
was-
Laura was there also.
Yep.
okay,
Yep.
and how often do they meet?
Twice a year. We
Okay.
meet twice a year.
And if you wanna go, you can go and listen, and
Yep.
Okay,
you just can't have 3 board members at the table there.
Yep.
yeah, okay. Yeah, I would just be interested in listening, finding out.
We actually have a really good group. They really open up and kind of lay things out there that they'd like for us to see. And then we have the minutes there. They talk about building updates, fast results, graduation rates, school improvement goals. Of course, we already talked about the TAG program. We looked at the good conduct policy, and we'll talk about that more later. There was something else we were gonna talk about too, wasn't there? I just had it. I don't think so, maybe not. So, tag, school improvement goals, must have been it. So,
Make
so
sure.
I recommend that we accept those goals and proposals from the SiAC committee.
We have a motion to approve the SiAC recommendations.
I'll make a motion.
Second,
I'll set.
Bobby? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed the same, motion carries. Approve modern design contract.
A couple things to go through with this. Been talking to Modern Design about doing an addition on the shop area so that we have room to expand in with our new programs. The milling machine that we're getting from American Tool is about, the footprint of it's about 6 foot by 8 foot, and then we have the toolboxes that are coming in, and our shop is really tight right now. Been working with Modern Builders on a cost to basically oversee the project. It's a construction management type design. Their cost on that is $14,250 before we go any further with that. I just got an email from them earlier on what their projections are for that project. And what we're looking at for a cost on that building would be just under $400,000. They put the general contracting fee in here for $43,000. for a budget total of $438,000. With them doing the construction management, we wouldn't have the general contracting fee, so that'd come out to about just under $400,000. We do have the money available, would have the money available, once that sales tax, but I don't think we want to go below the $250,000 that we've talked about. So I met with Bill Dolan from Lincoln Savings Bank and got some costing on what they could do for us on a $400,000 loan against our 1 cent sales tax for 5 years. And basically, at 5 years, it'd be $218 per $1,000 borrowed, and so it comes out to about $87,000 a year out of our 1 cent sales tax that we would cost out for a $400,000.
What was that, 4 years?
That was 5 years. If we went 4 years, it'd be $268,000 or $268 per thousand.
So how big is this approximately, and where would it be?
It would be actually right out in here, in this area, and it would cover everything but the last 10 feet to this wall, and the last about 15 feet back here, more than double the size of our shop. It would be 20 foot high, so that we could fit larger vehicles in here if we add a diesel program, so we could get trucks and tractors and trailers and combines and things like that in there. So it would have a 16 foot high by 24 foot wide door. We have a drain in the floor, so all chemicals will drain into the bed.
How about heating and cooling?
It would all expand into there from,
Like we have big enough systems?
and we would have to expand the sprinkler system out into it out of the shop also.
And is all that included, or is electric?
That is all included at the $400,000.
That's a very initial estimate.
It is a very initial estimate. They've estimated it high intentionally. So, because then if we approve this, then they will start putting those things out to bid, and the HVAC, the plumbing, and the electrical would all be bid out then.
What about materials? Will they give the materials locally?
As much as they could. That's the way we've always done business with them. So
And Modern Design is from where?
they're out of Janesville. They're the architectural firm that we've used for just about everything since I've been here. They did our concession stand down here, and they did a fantastic job with that. And they bought everything local that they could. So
So if, go ahead.
Schroeder's Concrete did all the concrete work, and I've told them that that's how we'd want to do it again.
So if we don't add on and make the shop bigger, do we have room for like the CHC sheet that we just received?
It'd be really, really tight. We'd have to really squeeze stuff around, and there's really, I'd say right now it's not safe for the room that we have for the tools that we have.
Because they're tripping over themselves, just the equipment in there, they don't have room to work or do anything. So yeah, it's not really safe the way we're sitting right now, and you put more machines and toolboxes and that stuff in there, it just compounds the problem that much more.
So for us to expand on with the Snap-on certification stuff, we would need more room to be able to offer those programs?
We wouldn't necessarily have to, but it gives us room so we can move around, and then we can work on adding more programs also.
So it doesn't prohibit us from getting started?
Right.
No,
with
right,
the
correct.
certification. It's just
It
that
just
in
that
looking at moving it forward.
We
need
really
more.
could use the space, yes.
I just need to ask this question. You mentioned when we were talking about the fire panel, shop in the elementary building?
Yeah, it's the old shop area and the art room.
Okay.
And that's a separate
It's a separate building down
from
there.
the elementary building. And
Oh, it
Yes,
is,
yes,
okay, see, and
yep. It's
okay.
it sits out on the west side there. It's that's the other brick building that sits out there.
Okay. And I know it's really not feasible to transport kids back and forth for a program.
No, and
but I
that
just
actually,
wanted
the
to
shop
ask.
area down there is the only storage that we have
Oh, okay.
right now, and
So that's
it
good.
is chock full of stuff.
Okay.
So,
The shop area, but they've still got a classroom.
There's the art
There's
rooms,
half
yeah.
art,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shop.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, and
Have
some
you had
storage.
any interest, like maybe like Clarksville students, if we had this type of program? that they
We haven't had those conversations yet, but I know there's other schools that would. NIAC's region stops at Green, and actually, the Allison end is in Hawkeyes, and they're not doing the same program. So like Clarksville and Nashua, Plainfield, and those schools over this way don't offer anything like this right now. So we're gonna advertise it and have the counselor talk to their counselors and say, hey, these things are available. So, I've not made it a secret that I wanna add a full-time ag program. And this would allow us to have the ag mechanics program and look at the possibility of bringing in welding certificates and those things also.
See, ideally, we'd get those kids up here like half a day to do those programs, so they can get some substantial time in at them.
Yep.
And not be running back and forth between buildings or facilities all the time.
Yep.
So when you say approve, it says approved modern design contract. What exactly would we be approved?
It would be this contract for the $14,250, so they start doing the drawings, and bidding it out and things like that.
Okay, so it's that initial step.
Yes, yep.
So yeah,
And
we're
that's all
not,
included in this 400
And the-
total.
It will be.
No, this would be,
Right.
let me look.
If we
That's a
hire
good
them
question.
for this, you said then we wouldn't have to pay for them to be that extra 40,000 management fee or something.
Well, that's for a general contractor.
So we'd owe the 200, or what was it,
It might be.
on top?
It might be added down there, it'd just be about 300,000, or 400,000, sorry. So I'd have to ask that question, because he's got the architectural, engineering, and miscellaneous administration down there.
Okay, so right now, what are you wanting approved for
The contract for the management for the $14,250.
the 14,000?
basically that gets them started on making a design that they can send out to people to get bids back in. So and then at that point, we can decide, yes, we want to spend the 400,000 to build the building, or no, we don't.
Yeah.
And this space will suffice, it's not gonna be like, we're gonna build this space, and then we're gonna be like,
No.
oh, well, we wanted to add this, and now we don't have enough room for this.
Well-
And, like, we're thinking about multiple programs that we might add.
And eventually, we'd like to add on for
Yeah,
the STEM and that
like-
over here, but this is more necessary right now.
Okay.
So that's more of a wish list, where this is a
And
necessity.
could we get any
There's actually-
additional storage space into this space?
There
or-
actually is a little bit of storage for the custodians to be put on back here where the dumpsters are right now, and the dumpsters have to move out to the street anyway.
Okay, so there'll be a little bit of
Yep.
additional storage with this space.
And with any luck, we would outgrow this space and have to add on again.
Well, yeah, I'm just thinking like if there's little tweaks, to plan.
Yeah, well, in the big grand scheme, we would take the current weight room and turn that into a classroom, but that's gonna have to wait for a little while till we can see what happens with the legislature and all that fun stuff.
And we're kind of landlocked here, we can't, go too far away or get too big, so.
Any other questions? I need a motion to approve modern design contract for the 14,000 for planning.
I'll make a motion.
Second? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed the same. Motion carries. Approve 28E sharing outreach.
Clarksville superintendent is retiring effective December 31st. I would recommend that we reach out to Clarksville with 2080 to share superintendent position.
Okay.
With what that would bring in for us and what we would save in my salary, the minimum would be about $86,000.
And how many sharing credits just for
8 kids. for
8 kids,
superintendent.
okay.
Yep.
when you share, you get like.
You get to count extra kids, yeah.
Additional enrollment dollars for the school
And
when
we
you
get
share
about-
positions.
And we get about $6,700 a kid, so it's almost $60,000 just in sharing money. And from what I heard today, one of the first things that the legislature is going to do this year is look at the operational sharing, and they basically have guaranteed school administrators of Iowa that they're gonna pull all the sunsets off it. So that it will continue, they'll get rid of the 5-year deadlines, and it'll continue because they wanna encourage the small schools to share.
See, 'cause otherwise that incentive would go away after 3
Okay,
to
yeah,
5
I
years.
didn't know what you
Yes,
said, is that
yeah.
just the sunset?
Yes.
Right,
That,
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
2019.
Yep.
okay, that's helpful.
The new money is going to be pretty much non-existent this year, so some of these other things that we've wanted in the past, and I'll cover those in my report, but we'll be able to maybe garner some of those things, including the sunset off the sunset sales tax, so.
So I'll make a motion to share, or approve the sharing.
Sorry, can I ask
20
one question
I
first?
Yeah.
before you do that? It's saying that Clarksville wants to pay 40%,
Yes,
so we would be responsible for 60, and they pay
60%.
40.
yep.
So would you be over here most of the time then?
It'll be 3 days a week here, 2 days a week there, and that'd just be split up depending on meetings and everything else.
One of the questions that I had for you is, so you've been giving 100% of your time to the school district, and as you look at it and you say 2 days there, 3 days here, I mean, you're one person, you know, so what gives, what changes? Because you can't.
More
do
nights and
everything.
meetings, more hours doing stuff outside.
Okay, so I guess I was just curious as to, you know, how you manage it all. So, oh.
With
okay.
her.
Okay.
Because we share Shelby with Clarksville
Yep.
now.
Right,
Yeah.
and I knew
And
that.
actually, I think it'll make life a little bit easier for Shelley, being that she's only working with one superintendent instead of 2 different ones.
Right,
so.
but I'm more.
But yes, it'll
I'm
make
more-
life a little more difficult.
Yeah, because usually something has to give.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't do 200%.
Yep.
You can't give 100% to Clarksville and 100%.
Right, and more things will have to be delegated to different people.
Okay,
But we have really good people, so
okay.
I have no doubt that it'll work.
And is this starting this year?
It would start January 1st.
Is the salary and stuff listed in here?
No, that's something we'd have to talk
That'd be
about.
separate.
Yep.
This, we're proving to basically reach out to Clarksville with this.
Yes,
And then go from there.
yep,
right?
yep.
Okay.
And I have to go to Clarksville on Monday night, pending the board approving this, and meet with them, because they were gonna talk to somebody else too.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead, Eric.
Okay, so you need I'll make the motion to approve the sharing of the 2080 outreach agreement.
Do we have a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same, motion carries. Approve volleyball team night at Iowa State.
This is not something that we've actively done, so I asked the volleyball team to present this to the board. North Butler volleyball team would like to attend the Iowa State versus Baylor volleyball game on Wednesday, October 4th in Ames, as part of a team bonding experience to watch a higher level of volleyball. We've looked into other days of the week as options, but none are better than this date for a number of reasons. October 4th is one of ISU's team nights, the only team night we could attend, which allows our entire team to get in for free and be recognized at the game. Our other best options also fall on Wednesday, October 11th and 18th. However, these are not considered team nights. The other dates that fall during our season are on Fridays and Saturdays. Fridays are also not ideal, as Fridays will conflict with football. We have volleyball players participating in cheerleading. And Saturdays are not ideal in that we have a lot of Saturday commitments already. On the dates that we do not play, I want the girls to be able to have ample time away from volleyball, as time to rest their bodies and minds and spend with their family and friends. We realize the importance of church night, and will make sure our athletes have the option of attending church rather than the game if they choose. I thank you for your consideration, for considering our Wednesday team trip to attend an Iowa State volleyball game. And there's a couple of things that we haven't, basically haven't allowed groups to use the vehicles for trips like this to observe, and then it's also a Wednesday night, so
So would we be allowing them to take school vehicles?
that's what they've asked, yes.
So like a bus or a van or?
I would assume it'd either be a bus or a couple of vans, but probably a bus because there's quite a few of them.
Okay.
So then we pay a driver?
Yes. Yep.
Would the booster club help the driver or the fuel or any of that expense? or
I don't know, and I don't even know if we have a driver available at this point. We only have 1 or 2 that have been going out of town. So when we get personnel, we'll talk about that too.
Okay.
So does that come out of the activity fund, or where does that come out of?
That'd be general fund.
And one cause, so we don't pay for them to get into the game, but we do pay for the bus.
For the fuel and the driver. Yep. Wear and tear, so,
You'd probably be looking at, what, 8 to 9 hours to run down there, watch volleyball games and back.
Probably.
I just wondered, does it set any precedent? I mean, so
It
if we
may.
do this for the volleyball team, I mean, and I'm not saying that's bad,
Yep.
but I'm just saying, would it set a precedent to say we do this for other sports? And that may be an okay
I
thing,
wonder,
I just
that's a
don't
good
know.
point. What,
Well-
why not get their own ride? Like, we'll allow them to leave school, or is it better, I mean, it's a team, I don't know, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, and then what if they work concession stand to earn the money to pay for that stuff? I mean, that kind of, then they'd be
Well,
responsible.
That
Is
all
that
goes back to the
fun?
boosters anyway. Or no, it doesn't, not when it's inside doesn't, sorry. Yep.
I mean, is that a possibility?
It's kind of a gray area. Because then you'd be transferring money out of activities into the general fund to cover the cost of the bus driver.
What would a bus driver get paid on that?
They get,
40.
right now they get 19 something an hour for the first 2 hours, then 11.67 for every hour after that.
Okay.
That's if they miss their hour.
If they miss their route.
I just figured,
Which
just
they would.
figure $20 an hour.
So you'd have $110 in bus driver expenses, plus some wipers and stuff. So, and then another $100 worth of fuel, so it costs us $225, $250.
But it's not that much difference than like, you know, taking other students to watch, you know, the state wrestling, you know, I mean, it's sort of the, I mean, it's a similar sort of a thing.
Other than if we
We
charge
could,
them.
yeah, I mean, we could ask them to pay a couple bucks they had to pay for the driver and the fuel.
Because I'm-
Not
well,
that
how-
bad
Because that's,
idea.
that's what we've done with PEP buses.
How many students are you thinking? 30,
There's,
20?
I think there's 35 or 40 of them in volleyball. Ross, how many girls we got?
32, plus managers, 4 coaches.
40.
I don't think that's a bad idea,
40
a
is probably
couple
close.
dollars, and then, you know, people are serious about going as well,
But
when
you
you
have
have to.
30 of them, if they each pony in $8, that's $240. It
Right.
should be about be a wash, other than a little wear and tear on the bus.
Or you could
Five
bucks.
bucks,
Five
Yeah,
bucks.
five
Make
bucks.
it
to help
Yeah.
with that,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah.
Anybody's on
Change.
stream comes, and they don't get paid?
No,
Oh,
that's-
they still have
that's a
to-
different- yeah.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
But if that is what they have done for other groups, I would think that would make sense,
I
and
think
then you're not, the precedent isn't quite the same then.
Because it's not, it's a school function, but yet it's an activity, it's not like this, you know,
Correct.
science class. or
Yeah.
something.
Yep. It's not something that's required.
Right, it's a good thing though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep, I would agree.
Yeah.
But I wasn't gonna make that decision on Wednesday night, so.
Okay, so I need a motion to approve the volleyball team night with use of a bus for what we've done in the past with a $5 fee for each rider.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
Okay,
And I'll second it.
okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same, motion carries with a $5 fee for the riders. Personnel recommendations.
No, with 21A.
Oh, I forgot about that, because that was your job. I don't know what 21A.
No,
I didn't write it down.
This is yours.
Trevor Reagan.
The professional development.
Professional development, our teacher quality committee has already approved this, so the money would come out of the teacher quality, but it's over $5,000. So the fee for Trevor Reagan is $6,000, and what they've asked to do is bring him on August 23rd, which would be the first day of school, 2018, and do a full day with students and staff. So I would recommend we do that. We heard him speak at SAI, Mrs. Holm and I did, and then some of our staff and students heard him speak in Grundy Center the day before school started.
What age of students?
It'd be high school, junior high and high school.
That's August 23rd, you said?
Yep.
What was his name again?
Trevor Reagan. He does what's called Train Ugly and some other things. A very interesting, very enthusiastic speaker. The kids that went this year, I think, were some of our athletic leadership council kids, and they really enjoyed it.
How did the elementary teachers, staff feel about not being able to be
Well,
included?
we might find a way to include them too, I just don't know yet. It just got sent to me late yesterday or early today, so. There's always a way to work things around, so.
No school for the kids on the
Well,
first day?
possibly, or maybe parent-teacher conferences or something.
Okay, so.
I haven't even started building the calendar yet.
Come on. I need a motion to approve the professional teacher quality.
Yep. Professional development for teacher quality fund.
For Trevor Reagan.
Yep.
I'll make your motion.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Okay, approve personnel recommendations.
Couple of things before we get to the main personnel. After contracts were issued this last year, Rebecca Moyer took over as head cook at the elementary, but we have not given her an increase for the increased responsibility. So I would recommend that we give her an increase before, probably retroactive back to the start of the year, because it's something that we should have done over the summer.
How much are you thinking?
What would be, wouldn't it be the same, because we already have a head cook thing, don't we?
I think so.
As I have that in my folder. I think it should be or similar, would it not be similar, or what's our high school head cook? Or
Well,
is
she's-
that's different?
That's different, because she's salaried. Do you have that sheet, Shelley?
Yep, you did.
I might have it.
There it is.
Director, we have a, let's see, what was that? So how about?
Well, right now she's set at 1150, I think, so.
She might have,
Did she get?
What's her
she
job
got a
title?
raise because
Yeah.
she was.
So, what's that?
What's her job title?
She's the head cook at the elementary.
Okay.
How does the role of the elementary differ from the role of the high school?
The one at the high school, Kim oversees the whole program for the district
Oh, okay.
1150,
Okay.
it's just a flat rate for everybody, 1150.
when they
And then
start,
that's
yeah.
that. But then I'm looking here, this is $1
Oh.
for head maintenance. So I mean, I don't know, like a head maintenance responsibility would be the same as a head cook or not the same?
Probably not quite, but that's what we gave Mark for an increase for overseeing both buildings as far as the
I would
maintenance.
say definitely no more than that, and.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the other stipend for transportation, 50 cents an hour?
For the associates, yes.
I don't see any other head.
She went from 1150 to 1183 this year. Yep.
And she has a lot more responsibilities than she did before?
Mhm.
More hours, or?
Yeah, well, she has more hours than she did before.
Maybe an hour,
So, but she comes in and has to get everything started
and do all the ordering, and
Oh,
when problems come up,
Get
she's the
paperwork.
problem solver and paperwork, and
I'd say we did $1 for the maintenance, or janitors, keep it in line with that.
I don't know.
I guess that would put her at a higher rate than everybody that works under her, which is probably good, so.
Do you have any recommendation at all?
I would say that the $1 probably, because that at least gets her higher than everybody that works underneath her.
I need a motion to approve would you call it like a new salary position?
Well, I would just say,
For a
a wage
position.
increase retroactive back to the beginning of this year for Rebecca.
Then maybe
As head
for
cook.
future, we can have it listed, like on the
Yep.
sheet, add
We'll
the
add.
head custodian and head cook, so that way
Yep.
when they change, whoever's the head would always get a
Or just
dollar.
put, department heads get an extra $1 an hour or
$1
something like that.
stipend.
That way,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Is it gonna be a stipend, or is it gonna be added into her contract? That I'll need to know the difference, because the stipends don't get, when we do like their new contracts, it's added in after the fact.
How does
The
that
dollar is always,
That's what we did
The
for Mark,
FICA
we
and
did a
IPERS, how
dollar
does that
stipend
affect
is
it
what
there,
it
Shelley?
said.
The stipend or a pay raise, does that make a difference on the IPERS and FICA and that
No.
stuff?
No.
That's what we
It's
did
just
for the janitor was stipend.
Uh-huh,
just so I know. so
that's
get
what I
it right.
wrote, I mean,
That way you don't have to issue a new contract either. It's
So
just an
then is it,
addendum, right?
is that permanent then, or does it end up being in contract the next year?
So what happens is like, she's at 1183, so next year, the percentage will be based off of the 1183. She'll get that dollar amount plus the dollar. So she won't get the percentage on the dollar.
Oh, I
it's
see.
just a dollar.
I
It's
see.
it's just always a
And next
dollar.
year,
That's
2%.
fine.
Yeah.
I think that's. I need a motion to approve this dollar stipend for the head cook.
I'll
Of
make
the
a motion.
elementary.
Of the elementary, I'll make the motion.
Second,
I'll second.
all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed the same, motion carries. Next
Um,
recommendation?
We are having issues getting bus drivers to drive out of town because the way we set it up last year, they're basically losing money on the trips if they give up their afternoon route. So I would recommend that we change that so that the first 2 hours is covered by their route pay, then everything after that, we pay the $11.67 an hour. We set it up this year, so it was 19 something for the first 2 hours, so then they actually are taking a pay cut. So
So you wanna pay them,
the route pay for the first 2 hours, and then the activity pay for everything after the first 2 hours.
and the activity pay is,
11.67. And I guess it probably wouldn't hurt to raise that a little bit either, because that didn't go up with the increase, did it? So, I'd almost recommend we move that up to $12 an hour also.
That being, I'm sorry.
This right
The
here.
activity
So
pay.
if they drive for like a,
Away
Ball
basketball
game
game
or-
or
yeah,
something like
Or,
that.
okay,
Wrestling
they
games,
would
be the
there's
big
different
ones.
things because the activity, this driver just drives like back and
Yeah.
forth between
Yep.
these schools.
Yep.
Right.
They get $48.50 for the route, we changed that versus not
Is that
per
a day
hour.
or-
Yeah.
Per route.
Per route.
Per route, so morning they get that, night they
Oh.
Then night they get that, yeah.
Okay.
And then. There's 2 hours. We figured that out, I think, so
Okay.
that was supposed to equal that, I believe.
Well, the 1924 comes from when we paid them hourly. That's how much they
Yep.
were being paid hourly.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Back when we changed it to getting paid per route. So 1924 is from back then.
And that's what they're getting right now?
Right now, they
Yep.
get 48 something.
Per route.
48.50.
But if they're driving the activity, they get the 19 for the first 2 hours.
Correct.
Is that pretty much the only reason why people aren't wanting to do it?
It's part of it, and we have a couple that don't like to drive if they're going into bigger towns.
Okay.
And we have one that doesn't want to drive any activities at all.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know how much of the issue the money would fix.
It'll fix some of it,
Okay.
so.
This was last year, like, all the other, so for the activity, this is where we were,
Mhm.
Charles City's higher, Greenville's higher, they're lower, about the same, lower.
Okay.
These are all about the same, and then we've got Forest City that's higher. So
I know it'll
think
get us at least
That's why we
one
didn't really
more.
change it, because all
They're
their
in
Let's get more now.
right,
No.
Okay.
but, you know, you could put it, $12.50.
Yeah, so what would it need to be in order to make it worthwhile to people?
Just, well, making up for the afternoon route, so the
Yeah.
48.50, and then we haven't given a raise on the activity pay since I've been here, I don't think.
I think you just, it's not 48.50 for the route pay, it's higher than that.
It's higher than that.
I think you
Like
just
49.88.
The-
It probably,
48.90.
this was what we
49.
said, this is what
49.
we said, there was probably a
So-
raise on top of this 48.50, so
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what
there
it
was, yeah, that's what it was when we did
And then
that.
now there's a raise.
So just say whatever the route pay is,
So you route pay for the first 2 hours,
Yeah.
that way you don't have to change this every.
that's what we
Yeah,
talked
right.
about, right, Amanda?
What?
I'll pay for the first 2 hours.
So basically,
I'm wording it right, ain't
Basically, what it would come out to is $24.94 an hour for the first 2 hours.
Yep.
That would then equal what we get for our route pay.
I? Yep.
And then after that would be the 1167, or if you raise that, or,
Which, that hasn't been raised since I've been here, I don't think, so.
Well, it was 1146.
Okay.
Oh.
Back in 2000.
So
1164.
whopping 21 cents
I'm
in
just
what,
kidding.
2.5 years?
It's not really anything.
No, it's not very good,
So now it's 19, so basically.
No, that was what we played for the first 2 hours.
Yep.
And then it would drop to 1167.
Yep.
And
Wow.
so now it would be the route pay plus, and if you went with some of these others, like you've got a $12 or a $12.75 or a $13.84, some are $11.50.
So was it I'm sorry, this is nitty, but, nitpicking, but was it 1924 for hour one and then another 1924?
Yes, yeah.
So we're really talking about not that much of a raise.
Right.
It's about.
We were trying to equal that out, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
then since it didn't, since
Okay.
that went
Yeah.
up, and if we keep this the same, then they're really not getting their route
Right.
pay anymore,
Yeah.
so.
Because
that's
they
why-
were missing their afternoon route because they'd have to leave earlier to
Right,
get some of these
I
Yeah,
get
activities.
it.
and then they're spending their time away from their family at night and everything
And
else,
it's,
so.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
not an opportune time, so.
Yeah.
So we could raise activity up then to 12.
That's what she's looking at.
Does that seem affordable?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'd even say maybe a little bit more than that.
12.
Our bus drivers have probably the worst job in the district, so.
How about?
Sorry.
I thought we did.
Well, yeah, out of you guys, so,
What if
let's
you
just
made
say
it
they're earning
more-
their money right now.
What if you made it more attractive and made it $25, so it's a little bit more than per route? And then increase it, I mean, just to make it a little more attractive, it's a round dollar, it's.
It's not gonna break us, that's for sure.
$25 for the first 2 hours. But it's gonna run into problems because right now they're getting what, 49, they're actually getting 49 something for the route because they got a raise.
So they're only
Oh,
gonna
This
get
is
12
what
cents
it was.
more.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then, this is like a year old, so
Yeah.
then
Okay.
as it goes up, then if you set it, you almost
you
can't
just-
set a dollar amount for those
No.
first 2 hours because as it changes, then we're gonna have to continue.
You have to
going.
continue to change it instead of just putting it in as route pay for the first 2 hours.
But then we could raise
Because if we-
activity pay.
Right.
And because if we renew contracts,
Mhm.
they'll get if we give everybody a 2% raise, then they would get that also, so then that route pay would
We
change.
don't wanna
Okay.
lose drivers to other districts either.
No.
And you got West Fork on this at 12, so like 12.50 per hour for
It's
the
not gonna break us.
activity pay. Because then we're higher than most districts, except for one.
So it would be route pay plus,
And then the
12.50
$12.50 for the hours
for
after
the
that.
activity route.
okay.
After the 2 hours.
After the 2 hours, yep.
Is that good?
It's a good start.
Well, I
Yeah.
drove back to, you get pretty bored if you just sit there the whole time.
Yeah.
It's a pretty thankless job.
Yeah.
What wage does everybody wanna set this at? 12.50, 12.75, 13?
12.50 is fine. Look at there.
Because I guess if we're not getting drivers, we can look at it again in a couple of months when.
And then contract,
True.
maybe we could raise it up
Yeah.
again if we need to for the next contract season, so we'll start out, it's almost $1, start out at 12.50 an hour.
Okay.
So I need a motion to, pay activity route drivers, their route pay for the first hour.
First
and-
2 hours.
First 2 hours, and then also raise the activity rate to $12.50 per hour. Anyone wanna make a motion for that?
I'll make a motion for that.
Can we have a second, please? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same, motion carries, we'll
Where does
raise.
this take effect?
Today.
Today,
Mhm.
end of the month.
What day is it?
It's right in the middle of pay period, that's why.
Well, you want to do it at the pay period?
We can go back to the first of the month, or
How about starting the
October
October
1st.
October 1st?
Okay.
Makes the most sense.
Okay, more personnel
Yep,
recommendations,
you can
sir.
vote for Shelley.
I did.
Yeah, it's like a.
Shelley.
True.
What?
He said go through you.
No, yes,
I
I
asked
voted
if
him.
she. Okay. We have, if I can make it bigger, so I can read it. PLC, or for contracts, I guess we have for PLC leader Doug Bachelor, TLC building leader Beth Embleman and Renee Zalgi, HR directory, secretary's assistant Angie Swanson, and Pat Larson for varsity girls track. Substitutes, Tina Miller for associate, Amy Felberg for associate, Caden Hobson for associate, Christian Fluke as associate, Michelle Everline for associate, Sue Mostak as associate, Rebecca Goodsell as associate and cook, Linda Wolf as teacher, and then volunteers, Kirby Bullion for cheerleading and Joe Miller for cheerleading. I would recommend we approve all those.
And on the subs, do they have to have background checks?
Everybody has to have background check.
That's been done.
Yes,
Yeah.
I have, but, no, I got the last one in this morning. He was the last one I was waiting for.
Any motion to approve the personnel recommendations?
Make a motion.
Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed the same, motion carries. Administrative reports?
You've got 3 minutes.
The principals are loaded. The principals' reports are there. They're loaded to the board site so you can read through those. All I have really is, other than what we've already talked about tonight,
They
some
don't open.
I got it to open. It open as a PDF. It's that dang PC.
Drop it for you.
Legislative items, Norcorn from SAI came and talked to us at our conference superintendent's meeting this morning. And like I said before, they're predicting that the operational sharing will come through within the first 3 weeks of the session, and they'll pull all the sunsets off of them, which will be fantastic. The 1 cent sales tax, they talked about quite possibly removing the sunset, but they may want some other accountability with that, so we might have to have a public hearing or something with anything that we spend over a certain amount, which is not a big deal. They talked about, one of the other things that they talked about was possibly having to take it to the community for election, which would really be stupid, because then we're spending money to spend our own money.
What would we,
It's legislature.
Well, they're probably trying to get back some of those school districts, build great, football
Yes,
stadiums
and
and
that's-
stuff like that.
so
They're
you
trying
that's
have to
exactly
say
what
if
it
you want
is.
to use this money for this, you'd have to have
What-
an election on it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's dumb.
Yeah, that's why a public hearing, I'd be fully supportive of that,
Mhm.
talk to the community and get feedback. But, as far as an election, that would just be a waste of time.
Time and energy.
But yes, they're very upset at the schools that have been spending their money on the grandiose athletic facilities. So, the per pupil equity with transportation and the funding by a school district is probably not gonna happen because they don't think the money's there. They did say that there's a possibility that now that we're 3 years into the TLC funding, that they might throw that at the schools and say, well, if it's working in your district, you can continue it, but that's your new money.
TLC.
Our teacher leadership compensation program,
And that's always been kept separate.
that's
from
been kept separate.
The regular money we get from the
We've
state.
had it
It's
for
in the funding
2
formula now, we've had it
years,
for
so.
2 years now. But they may pull that and just say, hey, it's an unrestricted pot. And if you wanna keep the TLC, that's fine, otherwise you can use it for your growth.
So we have Patrick McAlpine, who's like the TLC leader,
Yep.
and so he's not in the classroom anymore, and the money that we got funds his salary
It
and
funds him, and
other
then we'll fund some of this other stuff.
TLC things.
Okay.
But
And
that-
he can help teachers
Yeah.
and help get more student improvement things
Yep.
going.
But that money was supposed to go to the teachers,
was.
and it was kept separate from the general money we got from the state. And that kind of kept it out of negotiations a little bit.
Mhm.
But
This
now they're
definitely
talking
follows
that they
the
might
kids.
Yep.
eliminate.
I don't know.
Right. Or just throw it all
Now,
together.
but
so-
throw it all together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And they did say that with the legislators that they've talked to, that there's a good possibility that they may approve a little bit more flexibility in spending, like with the tag money and those things, if there's any money left over to cover some other costs. But we're trying to spend all that in the appropriate areas so that we're funding all our programs as fully as we can.
Why would they, I mean, what would be the benefit of removing that?
The
so that
TLC
you-
program,
Well, no,
or any of the any of the
like
guidelines on
yeah,
spending.
yeah.
Some school districts aren't spending all their money where it's set aside for, so it would free them up instead of having big carryovers in their restricted accounts. They could use it to offset some of their unrestricted account that is being overspent.
Like when we were negative, we had a lot of money in special ed. So
Yep.
if there was if they took the restriction off, we could use that for our general fund and we wouldn't have been
Yep.
negative.
Okay, okay, got it, that's
And,
helpful.
and part of the reason they did that was for negotiations, because, you know, the Teachers Association couldn't come in and say, well, geez, you've got $1 million in your,
In your special ed
your-
fund.
your spe- well, or your 1 cent sales tax
Yeah.
money, or your PEPAL fund,
Yep.
you know, so they couldn't say, well, we want that money as a raise.
Yeah.
That was set aside to take care of the facilities, or, you know, that's why they earmark those things out.
Yep.
Okay,
And it is kind of important because otherwise maybe certain programs might suffer, you know,
Yep.
because you could take that money away and this money usually goes back and stays within those categories.
Yep.
yeah, that's what I was
So
thinking, that it
it's
might be
kind of
important
a
to have.
double-edged
some-
sword.
And,
So
I
if
don't,
you take it away.
Sure,
there's reasons that I like it, but I also don't, because we need to protect some of those areas. Because a lot of the things that are affected by it are where some of our more needy students are.
okay.
But that's all I got.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Foster. I think this is clear.
4 minutes getting to the second class.
Are you the
I was thinking
timekeeper?
6:30. I just giving him a hard
Motion to
time.
approve the administrative reports, right?
We don't have to.
We don't have
We
to.
don't do that, okay. Reflections of the meeting? Oh, on Facebook, everybody go on and vote, you know, that
Yes.
healthiest school, we're still ahead. I went on and voted today and we're
So
like
did I.
in the bottom bracket.
Vote on that.
Go to our
on the
Facebook
North
page.
Butler Facebook page and vote. Yeah, we're on
Yeah.
the 3rd round and we have like,
times today, but we.
awesome.
Vote early and vote often.
Yeah, and you know, like we had 196 and it was like 185.
Yeah.
So it's,
And more
we're
people.
we're ahead, but we're still.
I can do it twice, but I'll be trying on other
And
devices.
they've been a lot bigger schools.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I tried on mine.
I would like to congratulate our two board
I called my
members
kids
and
down
Liz.
to college and I said, go
Look forward to working with you more.
just tell everybody.
Maybe a lot of phone calls. So,
That's fine.
We probably need to get each other's phone numbers and
Yep.
information. Somebody called me one time for your phone number and I gave them Eric's.
That's okay.
That's fine.
I had a missed call.
Well, I need a motion to adjourn then, unless anyone has anything else.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second, please.
I'll second.
The meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone, for attending the
Congratulations.
meeting.
You want my cell phone number if you have any
Yeah.
questions or anything?
Yeah.
Welcome to
319
the
240 6162.
So on Monday when you go to Clarksville,
You got to do a good one.
5:30.
Okay, got it.
You're welcome.
Yeah, if you have any
Light.
questions, just
where are you
Yeah.
going
Oh, yeah.
to, the, what room?
Library, I
Because I
believe.
think I have the
Come.
information. I'm not sure where
To the.
Oh, we can share.
On the west side.
Yeah, I don't email much. If you want to get a hold of me, call me.
It's not the library. My office is right through the double doors.
Okay.
There's a golf cooler. It's not like there still.
9606.
And then it's, nobody will be there.
Okay, go through the double doors, have a light cooler,
You have my cell
phone, right?
Yep.
I don't know.
I will talk back.
Give me it and I'll write it right here.
231-6560.
Yep. This phone.
So, my office is there, not
It
there,
wouldn't take
it's
much
very
to
active
fence
down
up
on
around
the
the
left-hand
slats.
side of the hallway. Room 109, I don't really know if there's anything.
We got to write it down now.
Yeah. I got a lot of big sign.
Great.
And then you and I will probably have to get together at some point, because I'm
Mornings are good for me, like, I don't work till 10 in the morning. So anytime you wanna get together, you wanna get together sometime between 8 and 9:30.
Actually, I need you to sign up
Put some
the
of that
link,
stuff up.
Thanks, Rod.
so I can scan it, So, it's like on the checks, you don't wanna have to sign every check, so that way I can see your.
Make it really
I don't want to see anything.
Or Amanda,
Can it be a
No line. Actually,
Seven,
just sign it on that.
You should be able
I
to
need to
take a
get that,
picture of it on
Amanda,
your
319, okay, 939, okay, 7636. Okay.
Yeah, we get all, we kinda got a little down on each other.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, by the way, Ross wants a picture.
Oh,
Maybe it'll come.
Here.
you gotta get a log, the school email.
Okay, I
You go
got
in there.
that, you sent that.
You just go in here,
You keep that, oh wait, I need to see this.
you go to your
You
email,
gotta sign all that
Yeah.
stuff.
and when you open Google, there's this little block here.
Yep.
You click on that, and one of the drop downs down here is
I can't
sites.
believe you didn't get us.
You need me to sign anything to finish up that last meeting?
And it just should come up there. You just click on it, and it's got board minutes, all the way back.
Here, have him sign them too.
Yeah, just to cover, sign above her, I'm not sure I should have signed that,
This up here,
because we did this.
and there's all sorts of stuff along here, so I don't know exactly how far down it'll be. But it says sites, and then this one should come up.
Yep.
All right, got it, thank you.
And if it doesn't come up, I have to ask how to get it. I might have to
Can I get a picture of all of you before you take off?
share.
The new board?
I have to share.
Where do you want us? Wherever.
You can
Share.
get in picture taken, I'm not.
Did you go to that beginning meeting, was that Sunday?
You gonna get in the show?
Mr. Foster.
Yeah.
You should, Shelley, you're part of it. You're secretary.
Yes,
treasurer.
yes.
Come on, Shelley.
Okay, you guys are so
The lighting over celebrities.
Let's,
You wanna be in the middle?
I think I should be laying across the front.
Okay.
how about you guys go by the table, I'll go over here.
I should turn my video on. I don't want all this
Well,
extra.
hi.